I do think that there should be complete freedom for the artist and performer.
What if everything you thought you knew about the wildest rock legends of the 60s was just the beginning of a much deeper, darker, and more profitable story? Behind the flashing lights, screaming crowds, and iconic guitar riffs lies a hidden empire, built not just on music but on secrets, silence, and staggering fortunes. Jim Morrison, Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, they didn't just break the rules, they rewrote them. But here's the twist. While the world watched them burn bright and fast, a few unexpected moves behind closed doors turned their chaos into cold, calculated legacies worth hundreds of millions. One of them even created a private archive that could rewrite music history forever. The question is, how? And why now? Because what happens next might just change the way we remember rock and roll's biggest icons. As a youth, he was immersed in stern discipline and intellectual pursuits, finding solace in the pages of Friedrich Nietzsche and the rebellious verses of existential poets. Even then, whispers of both extraordinary artistic promise and clandestine financial ambitions stirred beneath the surface, an undercurrent that would later fuel his transformation into an icon whose legacy defied both conventional norms and fiscal stability. As Morrison matured, a metamorphosis occurred, a radical reinvention on and off the stage that left audiences enthralled and critics astonished. With the formation of the Doors emerging from a chance meeting on a sun-drenched Venice beach, he and his bandmates began to carve out a mythos, as much defined by their musical daring as by their defiant disregard for societal expectations. Each performance was a captivating blend of poetry and rock, with Morrison himself evolving from a quiet, introspective artist into the magnetic Lizard King, whose hypnotic presence and uncompromising authenticity drew both fervent admiration and contentious scandal. One cannot help but be struck by the powerful hook of his transformation, an evolution that, while fraught with wild behavior and tumult, also beckoned audiences into a realm where vulnerability met audacity. Yet, hidden behind the enigmatic allure of his onstage persona lies a labyrinth of financial intrigue and opulent dreams that rarely surfaced in the glare of public adoration. Rumors swirl of a staggering fortune that vanished into controversy following his untimely demise, a legacy marred by legal battles and secretive claims that left his real family watching in disbelief as millions seemingly evaporated into the ether. A closer inspection of this financial labyrinth reveals subtle, almost theatrical nods to the world of luxury. High-end automobiles that were more than mere vehicles, but rolling statements of refined taste and unyielding ambition. Timepieces that glinted with the promise of precision, each crafted with exquisite care to symbolize not only wealth, but the very essence of legacy. Behind the glamour was an unwavering commitment to safeguarding assets, a dedication that manifested through a series of meticulously managed personal and business insurance policies, meticulously designed to protect against the unforeseen, an investment in security as crucial as any entrepreneurial venture. This dual narrative of artistic and financial ambition is a captivating hook in itself, a revelation that even icons of the counterculture were not immune to the relentless demands of wealth management. The duality of Morrison's world is starkly evident when one contrasts his magnetic rise with the crushing weight of fiscal misfortune. A reminder that the glitter of Hollywood and rock and roll can often mask a precarious dance with destiny. His once fabled estate, worth an estimated $80 million, was ultimately lost in a maelstrom of chaos and mismanagement. A bitter pill for those who watched with incredulous horror as opulence crumbled before their eyes. In the opulent corners of his existence, the opulence extended beyond bank balances and into the very fabric of his lifestyle. Reports suggest that, had he lived longer, his taste for the finer things would have propelled him into the realms of private jets, elite real estate, and the kind of luxury cars reserved for those who had transcended mere celebrity. Each asset symbolizing both his past achievements and the unquenched desire to redefine his future. This revelation stands as a riveting hook, inviting viewers to ponder the paradox of immense creative talent juxtaposed with daunting fiscal uncertainty. Throughout his tumultuous career, Morrison's journey was punctuated by a series of dramatic pivots, moments when he defied convention and rewrote the rules, whether it was through a defiant refusal to alter his song lyrics on a national television stage, or through boldly embracing the consequences of his actions in live performances that blurred the line between art and anarchy. In the midst of explosive success and personal debacles, Morrison's legacy continues to serve as an enduring symbol of relentless ambition, a flame that refuses to be extinguished by the ravages of time or the fickle hands of fortune. His story is a powerful call to action, urging those navigating the treacherous waters of the entertainment industry to learn from his bold, defiant choices and to safeguard their dreams with the same meticulous care as they pursue their passions. As we dissect the layers of his life, from the humble beginnings marked by restless wanderings and fierce intellectual curiosity, to the pinnacles of explosive performance and luxurious excess, we see that every brushstroke of his saga is imbued with lessons on risk, resilience, and the immeasurable value of staying true to one's vision. Lessons that resonate deeply in today's celebrity culture. This intricate tapestry of artistry and affluence invites viewers to reflect on the true essence of success and to question whether the pursuit of luxury might sometimes obscure the deeper, more meaningful quests for authenticity and redemption. What started as $400,000 in assets has now grown into a legacy worth over $80 million, with future projections suggesting it could double in value over the next decade due to streaming, merchandising, and biopic rights. His 25% ownership in the Doors' intellectual property became a goldmine, and even in his absence, Morrison continues to generate millions annually. That's the irony. He fought against being turned into an image, and yet today, his image fuels an entire business. But Morrison isn't the only name back in the spotlight. After the documentary aired of The Doors Are Open, Paul McCartney, who had been in the crowd, has also seen a renewed wave of attention. Recently, insiders revealed he's been quietly acquiring rare instruments once owned by fellow legends, including a rumored guitar linked to Jimi Hendrix. It's a surprising move for a man who's long moved on from his Beatles days, yet it hints at something deeper, a mission to preserve the soul of an era. McCartney, whose net worth has ballooned to over $1.2 billion, now spends more time curating art and music history than performing. But whispers in the industry say he may be funding an independent archive project, a secret musical vault that could change how future generations hear the past. And then there's Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, both present at those legendary Roundhouse shows. Jagger recently opened up in a rare interview about his struggles with aging in the spotlight. Known for his ageless energy and charisma, he revealed the quiet isolation that comes with being a rock icon. "People still want the version of me from 1972, he said, "but I wake up with aches now." Still, he isn't slowing down. Jagger's financial portfolio includes luxury real estate in 4 countries, a $15 million collection of fine art, and private investments in tech startups. His current net worth is estimated around $500 million, and his team is exploring AI-driven music ventures that could reshape how fans experience the Rolling Stones archives. Keith Richards, ever the rebel, is living a quieter life than most would imagine. A man who once made headlines for living fast now spends much of his time gardening and painting. Yet, beneath the calm, his empire quietly grows. With publishing rights and songwriting royalties rolling in, his earnings are expected to reach over $50 million in the next 3 years. And while Richards used to scoff at financial planning, those close to him say he's become surprisingly savvy, diversifying his assets and even mentoring younger artists in protecting their creative rights. What ties all these stories together isn't just fame, it's the weight of legacy. Jim Morrison tried to escape the machine, yet became one of its most valuable icons. Paul McCartney is rewriting his narrative with preservation and purpose. Mick Jagger confronts his reflection while planning a future built on innovation. And Keith Richards, once the face of chaos, now quietly guides others away from the same traps he fell into. It's wild to think that decades after they first shared a stage, these rock titans are still shaping culture. through confessions, reinvention, and silent power moves behind the scenes. But the biggest twist? The further they move from their wild youth, the more valuable their stories become. And as long as there are questions left unanswered, legacies still growing, and rare glimpses into who they really were, people will keep watching, listening, and wondering.